All right, this is how it's going to go. We're going to learn how to play this song, and then I want everybody to get their butts outside and sing it loud. The weirder your neighbors look at you, the better. May you rest in power, Miss Turner. And before we get going, I want to make you aware of something. There's a neat little thing that kind of ties a couple of parts of this song together. If you sing do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, starting on D, the second one, the re, do, re, is an E note, and this thing about the second one is the thing I wanted to point out to you. Put a pin in that. Capo 4, and all the notes and chords I'm going to be referring to are going to be relative to the capo chords, so that we don't go crazy trying to do a whole bunch of math. The first chord is E minor 7, and there's a bunch of ways to play E minor 7 in open position. I'm going to opt for A2, B3, and that's it. The second chord is D. You can just play D. I don't like the way that super high register F sharp note, relative to the capo of course, kind of breaks the feeling of the whole thing. So you might play D with an F sharp in the bass. That's E2, G2, B3. That sounds great. I like that one. E minor 7. D with an F sharp in the bass. However, and I don't know if you noticed, I sure didn't at first, but the bass in this track is of course playing E when the band is playing E minor 7. But when the band switches to D, it stays on E. So, taking the whole arrangement into account, what you've got is a D chord with a 2 in the bass. And if you want to accomplish that on the guitar, you could play regular D and strum everything. But we've got that high stuff problem, and also all this is getting a little muddy for me. Of course, if we play D with an F sharp in the bass, that's not a 2 in the bass. But if E2 is F sharp, then so is D4. That's our octave shape. So another way to play a D chord would be B3, G2, and D4. Now this one is kind of just right for me. It's got none of the muddiness and none of the high stuff. So here's your verse if you want to do it this way. E minor 7. And our special D with a 2 in the bass. Retains all of that ambiguity that I love and none of the muddiness. I'm using from, considering the things we're switching to and fro. I'm doing pointer finger on G2, ring finger staying, and pinky finger on D4. You could do it that way. That's fine. That's trickier for me. You do you. That's your verse. Up until the last line of the verse, which you might call the pre-chorus, but it starts like the verse. It's our 2 measures of E minor 7, just like normal, but then only 1 measure of our D chord, whichever D chord you chose. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2. Physical is C, D, 4, 5, 6. Logical, same thing. C, D. 5, 6, 7. Ignore is C, 2, 3, 4, D, 2, 3, 4. Into the chorus. I'm using normal D there. That seems right to me. You use D with an F sharp in the bass. It's definitely not any 2-ness in the bass there. Regular Ds, whichever one you chose. And the chorus is totally normal. G, D, C, D. Like C add 9. You choose. The instrumental at about the 2-minute mark is fascinating. It's a total key change. It's going to be A, E, D, E. You're going to do that 3 3/4 times, meaning the 4th time you don't get to play that E. So it'll be the first time, second time, third time, fourth time, and then you're into the bridge. There's no time there. 2 beats was just subtracted from the song. 3 3/4 times through the instrumental progression. The bridge, the new direction part, it starts on a G, but the bass is playing A, and you guessed it, that's G's 2. So now we have a G with a 2 in the bass, and how I'm going to do it is this. If you take your baby F, and I'm actually going to leave the baby E string open, it sounds cool that way, and move it up 2 frets, that's a G, plus now we have this open A string. That's our special G chord with a 2 in the bass. Special G, up 2 frets is A. Do it again. Then to F, just normal F. Then band moves up to G, but bass stays on F. That's not a 2, that's a flat, a dominant 7, but it's still the notion of the bass is just hanging on this one note that it's not necessarily supposed to be on, but it's awesome. So I'm going to play it like this, G, but instead of E3, a G note, I'm going to grab E1, an F note, and that A string is going to get muted by my pointer finger, so I'm not even worried about it. Better in context. F. With an F in the bass, E minor, and A is your bridge. I want to do the last line of that instrumental so we can practice counting it, and then I'll go into the whole bridge and do the whole thing. Last 2 lines of the instrumental, so you have some lead up. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, special G. 2, 3, 4, A. 2, 3. Back to special G. Back to A. Then F. Special G7. E minor. And then we're into the last chorus, which just goes over and over and over again until the end of the song, like every good pop song should. I say that endearingly. And yes, every 4 times through it's the instrumental progression, it loses those last 2 beats. So first time. Second time. Third time. 4th time. First time. Love that. But you gotta count. If you're gonna play along with the song, if you're just gonna sing it with your friends outside at the top of your lungs, you don't have to worry about losing those 2 beats. But if you're gonna play along with the song, yeah. And that's it. What a well thought out song. Now go do the thing. I'll meet you outside. Thank you so much for being here. So long as you and I are both on the planet, I will see you next time with more stuff. Goodbye.